Hi, this is Derek with MostInterestingLife.com, and today's video is titled, When in Doubt, Do It. We all know the saying in life that people are always telling, especially grandparents and such, when in doubt, do without. I'm telling you the opposite. I'm saying, when in doubt, when you're thinking of doing something sort of on the fence, do it. People these days are way too overly cautious. A lot of this is just ingrained in our DNA because of what our ancestors had to deal with. The human species and a lot of other species were evolved during much less sanitized times, times where if you got a little scratch and you didn't have an antibiotic, you would die from that. There were predators, there were poisonous snakes, poisonous insects, other people were a huge danger. We actually live, believe it or not, in the least violent times in human history. In the past, if you offended the wrong person, they could just smash your head in with a rock and nobody would say anything, or their friends would do it while you're sleeping. We were evolved to live in tribes of 200 or so people, where if you said the wrong thing, again, you could get killed, you could get kicked out of the tribe, you'd be forced to be out in the jungle with those predators. Today, things are a lot more civilized. Believe it or not, it's true. And we're lucky to live in safer times. And we're actually more likely to die from laziness and having too much food than too little food. So it's sort of weird how we're programmed one way. Our whole brains are wired, just our physiological reactions. But the modern world we live in today is very different. So this causes us, in a lot of ways, to be overly cautious when we really should be more daring, especially with a lot of things. I talk about skydiving, bungee jumping, all of that. It's very, very safe to do those things statistically. You're overwhelmingly likely to be okay. People get scared of going on roller coasters, going on airplanes, and yet they'll go in a car and they'll go driving around, and driving's dangerous. Especially driving at night, driving on highways, driving when it's snowing out or something like that. I'm not saying not drive, but I'm just saying in comparison, the same people that are scared of all these things that are pretty safe are doing things that realistically are just as dangerous or more dangerous. So I say if there's a roller coaster that you're thinking of going on, when in doubt, do it. If you're thinking of skydiving, just do it. If there's a new food you want to try, just do it. When in doubt, do it. Some person you want to talk to, at a bar or restaurant, some guy or girl you want to talk to, just go talk to them. If you're thinking about doing a vacation, do it. Because a lot of times if you think too much about these things, you'll never end up doing them. A lot of times in my own life, the times where I was sort of in doubt with going on a trip or doing some sort of extreme activity or just putting myself out there, almost every single time when I was a little bit in doubt like that and I did it, I was happy I did. And I look back, it was thrilling, it was a growth experience, it was a great experience in my life, something to remember. And the scarier thing is, what if I didn't do it? What if I just took the lazier path? And there are a few times where I didn't do certain things, and that led to a lot more regret too. And that's a much bigger risk than the perceived danger that is going against certain wiring in your brain. I mean, I'm not saying to do stupid things. Think things through. If you're feeling fear or hesitation, it's good to know why you're doing that. Is it irrational fear or is it legit fear? I mean, you probably shouldn't go walking around by yourself with jewelry on in some seedy, dangerous city, down some alleys or something, where when you see a couple of thugs hanging around. You shouldn't do stupid things. But you shouldn't let irrational fear control your life. And most fear in this world is irrational. I think Mark Twain said that I've worried about a lot of things in my day, and most of them never happened. And that's true, most things never happen. And it makes sense for us to have been programmed that way, because you could be living a great life and make one stupid mistake and be dead. So that's why we're wired that way. But for most things, the things that I mentioned, the travel and doing extreme activities and even business type stuff, when in doubt, do it. You got to think about the bigger long-term risks. You know, things are way too safe these days, and it messes us up, and we don't have a real perception of, for example, with the business thing, you could take a safe route and work a job your whole life and then get fired. Or you could work for a company that blows your pension money, and then you don't have a retirement. There's often bigger long-term risks than the risks that occupy our mind in the short term. It's just the whole world around us is always telling us to play it safe. Whereas our ancestors, if you looked at the bones of our ancestors, most of them had fractures all over their body that they healed from, broken bones, scratches. They lived in hard times. Nowadays, we have warnings on our McDonald's cups telling us, it's posted all over the place, not to burn ourselves because some idiot will burn themselves a little bit and complain. You know, this is very unnatural, but this is the world that a lot of us have gotten used to. And a lot of people, they propagate fear to people. They say, oh, I would never do that. That's scary. And do not accept other people's fear, because it'll cloud your mind and it'll become your fear. And almost every decision in life that's made out of fear is the wrong decision. That's what I've learned. Decisions based on negative emotions tend to be the wrong ones. Decisions made on the right reasons, they tend to be the right decision. Things that you're passionate about, things that excite you. It's good and important to differentiate the difference between fear and nervous excitement. I mean, almost always when trying something new, you might feel nervous excitement, and you want to differentiate that from fear. Because fear sometimes could be telling you something that you should know, but nervous excitement is productive, and it's one of the things that makes life more worthwhile and worth living. So I say, forget the whole thing of when in doubt, do without. I mean, be smart about things, make the logical choice, but realize the type of fear that's involved, realize if it makes sense or not, realize what a growth experience is that you should be going for, and when in doubt, do it. So until next time, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, go to my site, mostinterestinglife.com, and until next time, stay interesting.